Hello. So I am redoing a video today where I am not so talking about psychological issues with people and stuff. It's not funny at all, but like I mentioned in that video, I really don't like my own negativity and stuff, and it gets to me. So like having that on my profile, and I am in a situation where I'm supposed to have like some financial situation clear last Thursday, and it didn't. So and I was like, surely by Monday, and it still hasn't. So I'm still waiting on it, and hopefully tomorrow. Like, I don't see why it wouldn't be tomorrow, because it wasn't today, and it was supposed to be last Thursday, and that's all very strange. I've got a lot of stuff I gotta do, and it would be really nice to put that money towards a car rather than feeding it into Uber to go do what I need to do. But the good news is, even though my super cheap $900 Saturn wagon situation didn't come through, I did find two other options, and so, like, between the two of them, I should definitely have something by the end of the week, and that's awesome. Like, they're actually much prettier looking. They on the outside, on the inside, and in the inside, they're not Saturn wagons, even though that would have been really cool because it had so much room in it. These are like two doors. I think they're both two doors, and I've never had a car that was a two door. They both are like in my budget, and also really good looking cars. Like, just in general, like, they're pretty, like, I really couldn't ask for much better than like a really good car than I get off the lot. So one of them's a 2004 and one of them's a 2008, which is both older cars, but they definitely will do until I can get something that is more reliable. And I actually have been in a situation for a couple of years now, since both of my grandparents got dementia, where I was like, I was about to get a new car about 5 years ago when I got health problems, and then I had to take a break from my job, and then that lasted. So here I am 5 years later, unemployed, and it's just been like this big snowball thing for the last, like, this coming year will be 10 years. So that I've been in this state after the miscarriage. And so because as soon as that started, I felt the seizure activity start, and I didn't know what it was until, like, I really didn't even know in 2018 that that's what was going on, because, like, I was like, the pregnancies made my, like, mind not like my mind, well, I mean, my cognitive abilities lowered, and I've never had anything like that happen. So I just kind of, it wasn't like an all at once, like, major thing. It was like a descent. I think there's a movie called The Descent, actually. But and then I learned, like, that there's like a 3-year, like, period of when you get pregnant, that, like, kind of affects you cognitively and stuff. But like, I did not know that outside of the trauma and all that stuff that also was part of it, I did not know before 2016, that, you know, there was any kind of seizures or epilepsy or any, like all that kind of stuff. And when I say epilepsy, I mean seizure activity that's not registered like on the little tests that they can do to test if you're having a seizure. Because when they do those tests, like it's like above a certain level and stuff. So like if you're just having pre-seizure and stuff, like there's all like they it won't show up. There's some areas in the brain that like deep within your brain and stuff, like the amygdala or whatever. Like if you're having seizures in that area, it won't register on the little test thing that they do. So, and that's exactly where I was having the seizure activity at, because there is no, like for temporal lobe seizures and stuff, like if you're having seizures in your hypothalamus or your amygdala or whatever, then there's no physical reaction. It's just like a mental health thing. So you have to get treated, and if someone refuses to treat you, which they don't, then like you are kind of like stuck in that state. So, but often, you don't have those kind of situations. Like when that happened to me the first time in 2018, like it was months and months and months that my body, because it was hormonal based, like my hormones had to balance out in order for me to come out of the seizure. So like I was having seizure, like I was in a seizure state all that time. And then that's what happened, like last year I went into that state and I was like, okay, like this is not right. Like I shut down even more because I'm assuming, from the trauma, like having had it happen before, that I recognized it and was like, this, but I was so far, cognitively, rather than a descent just because of like, I don't know, I like, kind of like a car, like I locked down, much harder. And also I had been going through a lot of trauma, and so I had a lot of confusing stuff that just wasn't making sense, with being gaslit and stuff, so which took away my ability to conversate and talk. It also took out, my trust to people, and made me slightly psychotic. Was the way I described was, psychotic depression, because I wasn't able to, I really didn't know where I was. Like I knew where I was, but I was like, I'm, about to like be deceased. Like I lost all of, like I wasn't able to conversate or talk or anything like that and make any kind of sense. Like remember from minute to minute what was going on. That's how bad it was. And so it took me, about 5 months last year after I got out of the hospital. Like it came back pretty quickly, so that's how I also know that it was like a seizure, and it was just like a constant thing that had gone on for weeks, which is very much a medical emergency. It's not just a matter of going to get it checked out. Like I had to go in and get them to constantly, they gave me Klonopin after Klonopin until I said okay. So, and then like this past May with the atonic seizure, I was like, at one point was, they're like, just asked me, a question and stuff, and I was like, well, I'm talking, so I was like, I don't need any more morphine. it was really very disturbing how that works. But I was thinking, I was like, the first time I had that happen, was in 2018, and but that would have started in 2016 in the springtime, upon my first pregnancy. So that's the thing. But I am talk to the people about these two cars. One of them is a delivery person, or one of them can deliver the car. That's the little bit more expensive one. But the other one, I'll have to Uber out there. Listen, I don't know, most of my friends don't live in town, or most of my friends, have daytime jobs and stuff and don't have, like, the ability, and they're just gonna be like, hey, take me to this car, I don't know, doing stuff on my own. So, like, it's not a whole need. I can Uber up there if everything seems cool, and, I'm just waiting on my money to get dropped off, give them the money, sign, do all that kind of stuff, and like, whew, get the car. I'm excited. Yeah, I should have something. I'm looking at by the end of the week, kind of signed off on the Saturn wagon. It was like, well, thanks for working with me, appreciate it. And he's like, oh, thank you for working with me. Funny. People are funny. I was immediately like, oh, I'm a therapist. Not literally, but like, I don't know. It was a good interaction. It was nice to chat. I think socializing like that, like purchasing, I've always been weird about like selling anything or buying anything when I first go to do it. So it's kind of nice to have someone like, go back and forth with me for a minute. I'm used to talking to people that I know, so having that moment was kind of funny. Oh, my leg is itching. But yeah, one car is a black car. It's like solid black, and I've got solid black clothes on today. My new Hey Dude shoes. I don't know if you can see them. They're pretty cool. I like them. They kind of look like this brand. I've been outside walking around in the rain. This one brand is kind of a stylish, but they kind of look like them. I don't know what they're called. Yeah, we got the heater, little space heater out today. It's getting about that temperature, but it isn't cold enough to turn the main heat on yet. This car in Spartanburg is also a little, a couple $100 cheaper and newer than the one, but it's like windows are stuck, which isn't too big of a deal. Needs AC charged, which isn't a wintertime thing, so I don't like the way it looks, so I'm more apt to put work into it, so that's fun. But yeah, two-door car. Completely opposite of what I was gonna go for, but like totally not my problem right now. I at some point would like to have an SUV again, so when I go to buy a newer car, that is what I'll be doing. But not immediately buying an SUV right now is probably a good idea, because of, like, SUVs have a little bit higher insurance and also don't have quite as good a gas mileage on them, so I think this is like a Chevrolet that I'm looking at, and I know I know a little bit about cars. Like I know my way around how to, you know, whatever most everything looks like and where it's supposed to be located. Of course, like every car is different, but like I understand how things fit together and stuff. So I've worked enough with old cars in order to figure it out pretty easily, and also know when and what to like go get fixed or what I can do myself and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. I don't have any tools, so there's not a whole lot I can do on my own. Not I have tools, but not car tools. I did have car tools, but they got. So, and then once I get my car, then I can start focusing on my other big project, which is cleaning my house, because I went to go do some stuff and I was just like not feeling it yet. So, and also, you know, the whole, you know, work stuff, I can fully devote myself, of course, when I get a car, into finding, you know, my place in the world with income. You know, I hate to mention this again, but that's one of the things that it makes me sad, that because my mom's like, get a job, and I'm like, you know, I have had, you know, close to $500,000 spent on me, if not more, to educate me in many different things. So the fact that someone's telling me to get a job, for one, I have a job right now. That's, you know, I own my own home and I pay my bills and stuff. But like, you know, yeah, I'm currently being educated so I can gather all my skills together, you know, and it's like, you know, I mean, if you want to go into the world of spirit and stuff and like literalness, then like technically I have several jobs, you know, but like, you know, I'm assuming it's a thing where she's like, you know, calling me a loser, you know, after, you know, for some reason, I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. She's thought that way about me since I was born. So, you know, I assume it's some kind of, you know, now, you know, it seems to be like a mental illness, dementia thing, but I'm assuming that's my brother, because she used to not say stuff like that to me. She used to have hope, and, you know, she won't say, I love you, you know, she says, get a job. So, I don't really know what that's about, but it is, you know, upsetting, because, you know, I do care very much about my mom, and I love her, and I don't want her to be upset. I want her to be, you know, be able to take care of herself and, you know, have a happy, good life, you know, even if she don't feel that way about me, you know, for some reason, like, you know, and it's absolutely 100% none of my brother's business, you know, me and my mother's relationship, and he's younger, but he is, you know, doesn't want me to exist for some reason. So I don't really understand, other than entertainment purposes, why she don't just stop, you know, and leave me alone. You know, I don't know if she's just that mentally ill, you know, but I was hoping not to talk about it, but at the same time it's really upsetting, and I don't have anybody to talk about it with, and the only person that I could, you know, confide in about it, you know, has my whole life been telling me what I have been going through. Like, you know, it's like walking along and tripping and falling, and someone's like, do you know you just tripped and fell? Like, that's what I have been going through my entire life with my grandmother. So, you know, which is gaslighting, that is crazy making and stuff, that'll, you know, energy that will injure you, that is someone attacking you, you know, because nobody's that dumb, like she's not mentally challenged or anything like that, so that is an attack, constantly, you know, because we can't be living with somebody constantly in our ear, narrating the world around us. But yeah, I hope it doesn't last. I hope it doesn't take too much longer before my finances clear, because then I will have to, like, break into my backup food stash, which I guess I will have to. I need to start using that stuff anyways. Not a huge fan of instant mashed potatoes, but like, I don't know. I've got a couple meal ideas that, like, I'm just not super excited about making and stuff, but I guess it is about that time before it goes bad. So, yep. I'm excited. I'm a little bit more excited than about the 2008 than I am the 98, so that's cool. And it's only a couple $100 more. Yep. Then I will be free to go again and not feel like I'm in jail, and not be, you know, who knows what I'll be doing, who knows what I'll do, but I will be able to not have to walk around everywhere anymore, so that's great. That'll be really nice. And if you're annoyed with me talking so much, then go fuck yourself.